Hello everyone, my name is Julio Herrlein. I'd like to greet you all and thank you for inviting me for this amazing OPUSMODUS Convention. I'd like to share with you some ideas about my process of composition and the previous experience I have with computer assisted music software. So hope you like it and thank you. Actually, the very first time that I had the intuition about the parametric thinking was in my childhood while playing with my Casio VL1 synthesizer. That little box was capable of recording about 100 notes, and then you could play it with different rhythms each time, just by pressing two buttons, so the parameters of pitches and rhythms were separated. Beyond this parametrization of local events and this almost Aristotelic distinction of essential attributes versus accidental attributes that we have in OPUSMODUS, we can also think in terms of what Kaya Sariaho called the parametrization of the macro structure. This means that you can also think parametrically in the degree of importance of the orchestra and the amount of polyphony that you have in your music. Sariaho conceptualized also parameters for the rate of harmonic progression, for the pitch range, for dynamics, for the level of homophony, and also for the entrance of elements like the tape. If you take a closer look at Sariaho's music, like Laterna Mágica, for example, you can see all these parameters in action. If you take a look around the 40 measure, you can see that the low notes of the pitch range of the string section are filtered out. This is very clear if you see the score. How the parameters are interacting and evolving during the composition. I think that you can divide the music in two great realms. I think that one realm is the realm of the sounds. And how the sounds unfold in time. And the other realm is the realm of the representations and how we interact with the notation and how we interact with the existence of symbols that denote the music that you are trying to do. These symbols are used both for presenting our music to people that want to play it, but also these symbols are a way of conceptualize the music. The symbols are also important to us to visualize, trying to grasp our intuition, because music is something so abstract and sometimes we just need some help to materialize our ideas. So I really think that humans are attached to symbols. We are always representing things using symbols, so notation is very important to me. did some time ago looks very mechanic and maybe it sounds like computer music. But actually it was done entirely in a manuscript paper. This is what I call the analogic snippet. I could make dozens of versions of this music easily in OPUSMODUS. I can easily generate the same snippets. This is the original version you already heard. This is the same music with randomically chosen notes. Now with an all interval 12-tone row, and so on with endless possibilities. You can do these variations with just a few clicks. I think that notation software are great for adding details to the score, for extracting parts. But in my process of composition, I rarely use only the notation software. Except for some lead sheets and music written before by hand. This is a more jazz-oriented stuff, meant to be performed with less reading and more improvisation. Inputting information in notation software, especially the rhythm content, is very counterintuitive. When you input the notes in the notation software, you don't have the flexibility to transform the material. You cannot set the parameters independently. You are not free.
We will not live by your commandments, we're free!
Hey, there is no freedom without the law.
You feel like writing the 10 Commandments in rock tables.
You are not worthy to receive these 10 commandments. Those who will not live by the law shall die by the law.
As I said before, the notation part of my process of composition is usually the last part. For me, this is the last thing after I decided all the parts of the composition and decided the notes and the rhythms. By the time that I was composing this, the main method was what I call hard sequencing, that is using the sequencer, recording some parts that you could call maybe snippets and working it out, editing, displacing the rhythms, copying and pasting, transposing parts, making sequences, changing the time signatures, making new groupings. This is a lot of hard and manual work. For this particular composition, I think that this approach was a lot of fun because I was using a fixed grid of 16 notes, and then the operations easily done in the sequencer were very useful. Because of the quantized nature of this music, I could easily import to the notation program a version that was close to the final edition, including the change of time signatures. Of course, the distribution of notes and the piano staff have some idiosyncratic nature and you have to do it manually. And it was brute force hard work. one of the things that I am really obsessed when composing is to have pitch control, to have control over the harmony that I'm using. So this possibility of MIDI entry is welcome because I can use exactly the harmony I'm playing on the guitar, for example. So this is the harmony I just played with the guitar, but differently from the paradigm of the standard notation software, I don't need to get attached with the original rhythm and the original order of these chords. I can move. This is not written in the stone like a commandment. This flexibility is something really cool. You can have a lot of control of your harmony, like this. For example, here is my original chords. Now I can do an alternative order, like repeating the two first chords, the second chords 2 times, etc., and the 15th chord like 3 times in the end, and it goes like this. Also, I can transpose anything if I like, and I can stick with my first order if I like. And I can repeat this original order in some algorithmic way like this. This is really amazing, and you can go further very quickly. I can just demix this sequence I just brought together and hear immediately an orchestration of this. Oh, this is so cool. I can go a little further and establish some simple rhythm to this, like da 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 da, some articulation and some time signature. And now I have this. I can go a little more further. Still we're using block chords, but with this rhythm. These articulations and these time signatures, and everything goes like this. Now let's work out the same example, but with independent voices and articulations. Let's take this for voice 1, this for voice 2, this for voice 3, this for voice 4, this list of articulations for each voice according to the nature of the voices, and this list of dynamics for each voice. And easily we can have something like this. And please remember that the first material was this one. And just with one command I can take exactly the same material and do a length diminution of all this immediately, like this. Actually, I don't know any other software that You can do so many variations of the same material, keeping the DNA of the original material and doing instant orchestrations. This is really amazing. This is why I love OPUSMODUS. I don't use the very advanced features. I use it to make basic things more easily. I'm not too much into programming. I'm not too much into things like microtonality. Maybe I can do something like a big band arrangement, and just to make it more fun and more quick to work. You do not necessarily use OPUSMODUS for avant-garde stuff. You can use it for basic harmony stuff, and this is why I love it, because it's so flexible. And of course, if you do serial music, if you do spectral music, if you do microtonal music, this is even more amazing. Actually, you can do an average use like I'm doing here, making my creative flow goes faster and having more variations of the basic materials that I can compile later for doing a larger composition. I think my compositional process goes back and forth among these elements. Sometimes I start playing something in the guitar or at the piano. Sometimes I write something on the paper. Sometimes I go to the computer. Sometimes I generate some material and transform. I think that you can draw inspiration from many sources, and a good computer system for composition can bring some tools for you to make variations and to transform the basic materials. I'd like to thank to all my good friends at OPUSMODUS team and all the people involved in this amazing software. There are great musicians and great programmers in the team. Thank you for all the patience with my stupid questions, and I hope I can do much more music with OPUSMODUS in the near future. Thanks for listening. See you. Ciao.